When you mentioned internal trade barriers, how do individual households get hit to that degree, you say $7,500 a year?
Oh, great question. And that was a result of a Senate committee that was done federally. So that came across for us in our buying power. So if I can't have access to a product due to scale, I only get it here, I'm missing out, so I'm paying potentially more. So this is exactly the reason why we should be able to get our goods across our country so that we can get scale. That's where that 7,500 comes from.
So it's like an issue of competitiveness and
Competitiveness within Canada.
Mrs. Dudley, how would you compare how businesses are doing right now compared to just before the previous election in 2015?
So I'm not commenting on the past, I'm not speaking to the past, but what we know is that it's been successive government policy that has resulted in the lack of competitiveness. And so that, to say that it's one government over another, that would be remiss. What it is that it's taken successive government policy to erode our economic strength.
So it's not new in the last 4 years necessarily.
No, not necessarily. I mean, business ourselves, like we take the example of market access. Businesses put forward plans 15 years ago, knowing that we were going to run into these market access capacity issues. Yet that was successive government policy that has gotten us here. And so that's why we say we should never have gotten here.
And how has the carbon tax impacted Calgary businesses specifically?
Sure. Yeah, no, that's very interesting. What we hear from the business community is that, again, layered cost assessment, carbon price has been one of those layered costs on businesses, reducing our competitiveness.
But that's something that's also going on in other parts of the country, for example, Quebec, Ontario. So we're not the only ones in the game.
Right. We have, but we also have a very strong layered costs on ours. We have minimum wage, we have labor law changes, we have the corporate tax, like all of those things have been piled into that layered cost assessment that we are asking for.
Some would argue that the corporate taxes, carbon taxes, minimum wage, all of those things have been a result of the NDP government as a nonpartisan group.
Mm-hmm.
How do you answer that? Because it would seem that you would be pointing at the NDP.
Oh, no, this is absolutely not about any political party. This is about getting to a competitive marketplace. So, like I say, we shouldn't have gotten here. These are all things that make us less competitive in the marketplace, and it's been successive government policy that has taken us here. So, absolutely, that those things may have been implemented in the short time frame, but those things definitely didn't just arrive at our doorstep in the last few years.
How will the five things that you've laid out, how will they, if all of those are implemented, could you see a turnaround in Calgary's business economy?
100%, because business knows how, our business is very resilient, and we know how to capture markets and see the marketplace. We cannot be competing within ourselves with our public policy and our economic policy. We need the strength of that to get us to be able to be competitive again, and we've done it before.
So the Chamber is one of the latest groups to bring out their policy platform. CAP did it earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
A number of groups are following. How likely are the parties to listen?
Look, we are all aligned in our voice on competitiveness. We are all aligned on the fact that we want government to govern with good policy. We don't want politics in our policy. So yeah, very likely to listen because we are all on the same page.
If they don't listen, worst case scenario.
If the parties don't, that's our call to action to citizens, because we as citizens need to vote for the policies that govern our communities and our business, and we need to vote for policy.
Okay, last couple of questions.
Can I ask, so of all of these, which would you say, you know, is a must-do? Like, which, if you were to rank it, what would be the most important thing that the government should focus on?
So all of these lead to competitiveness and good governance and accountability of knowing that we should have never gotten here is exactly where we want them to go. We want the government to look at it and say, what is it that I can actually influence, which is good governance and accountability, which takes into account the reduction in tax, the layered cost assessment, being fiscally responsible. So if they can lead in the way that we lead our companies to make sure that we are profitable and we are giving back to the community, that's what we're asking for, is good governance and accountability.
In terms of attracting the workers with the right skills, I know most companies are looking for IT in this day and age. So how do we attract IT locally, grow it locally, rather than looking abroad? Possibly that's what you're looking for as well.
Sorry, could you reframe the question?
So most companies are looking for IT for their companies, for workers. It
Oh,
seems to be
okay.
very big demand.
Right?
So how do we grow IT skills locally through your recommendations?
So for us, this is interesting because we've all gone to school and we've all developed skills and stuff. This is a long game ask. So right now we're in a gap because we didn't see this coming or we didn't listen, right? And so this is a long game ask of the government to have the education institutions aligned with where industry is and government holding to account so we can move forward so we don't have a gap in skills as we come in.
So did you mention the skills that you're looking for? Is there something in particular or just in general?
In general, to move forward. Like, obviously, I think, I say this obviously because technology and AI, but it's the cognitive thinking, it's that ability to infuse, it's the ability to apply technology into asset-based work. Those are the kinds of things that keep coming up.